Oh. Mm. That's a really nice sausage roll. That's got to be up there on one of my favourite sausage rolls I've had. That is very lovely. Wow. Hmm.
You thirsty, partner?
Hello and welcome back to the Thirsty Farmer channel. Hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know you're enjoying the content and will hopefully help that algorithm over time. So today we are at a pub called the Guide Dog. The Guide Dog, based in St Denis area, Southampton, very, very close to the previous pubs that I've done, Darby 59 and the Rockstone pub. Yeah, if you haven't watched those videos yet, please go onto my channel and check out some of the previous videos where you'll be able to find it there. So, Darby 59, a little bit of history behind it. It used to be, so up until recently, it used to be a pub that was owned by a couple that did serve about your standard beers, but was very renowned for doing good Thai food. Because one of the couple was a Thai woman, so they went and done some good Thai food that I heard. I haven't tried it myself, so I wasn't able to give my thoughts on it. But yeah, so they used to do here as well, your standard pubs, but they used to do, your standard beers rather, but they used to do really good Jaipur here. So the best Jaipur that I think I've ever had was here at the Guide Dog, but now it's been recently taken over by a brewer called Steamtown. So Steamtown, their flagship brewer is local to an area called Eastleigh, so city or town, quite close to here. So if you're local and know the area, you'll know Eastleigh as being quite close to here. I've been to Steamtown before. I've had some of their beers and it's been pretty good. But I just wanted to come here and see, have they done well in terms of taking over the place, and some of the new beers they've got, have they improved the place, or has it gone downhill? Let's find out. So, yeah, first things first, you might notice that I am talking a lot quieter than maybe I would do generally. So, we are here on a Friday night. I thought I was going to be coming here and it's going to be absolutely bouncing. It turns out this place is very, very quiet. Not a lot of people in there at all. So it just seems to be a place that people are going, well, a few people go for the odd pint or two, and that's about it. That's why I'm not as loud as what I usually would be, but hopefully the mic is picking it up and it's producing good sound for this video. So anyway, let's chat more into the beer now. So the beer. So the beer, if you look on the menu board, you've got various different ranges, different beers. And they give you the option of being able to try them in thirds. So there's on a floated tray as such here. So I've decided to do that to get a good sample of the different beers here. So first of all, beer number one. So beer number one, this is called Stoke, a 3.8% pale ale, done in-house by the brewer Steamtown, and it's a 3.8% pale ale at $4.70 a pint. So let's give that one a go first and give your thoughts on it. But yeah, first impressions, I think it's pretty good. So obviously, it's got a reasonably good head. It has been left to settle for a bit of time now by the time I got the mic, the camera, everything all set up. But it does look reasonably good. But let's give it a go. Cheers. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. That's a good beer. So I think it's good. Not it has got some good fruity notes, but yeah. What do I think of it? I think it's a good, solid beer. Is it my absolute favourite? No. But is it a good beer? Yes. So therefore, what am I going to give this one? I'm going to be giving that I'll give that a good 7.9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my thoughts on beer 1, which is the Stoke. Moving on then to beer 2. This is called the Age Gates. And this is a 5.5% IPA done by the brewer Downloads. And this is priced normally at £5.10 a pint. Right, let's give my initial first impressions on that. So with the other two, there was no head when it was poured. That's just how it came. That's just how it looked. So I think that is a fair review of it. I can't say it had a head and it's settled, because that was just how it looked in the first place. Darker in colour, looks flat. So yeah, let's drink this one up and see how this compares. And see how this compares to the other ones. So yeah, so initially when I go to drink it, I do get so I do, it has got a nice floral smell to it. When I taste it, that's when the issues start. It's flat to me, and I don't really like. Yeah, flat beers aren't really my thing, so I want them to be bubbly, gassy. So therefore, this isn't really much my cup of tea. So therefore, what am I going to give that? I'm going to be giving that. Yeah, I'm going to be giving that. I can't give it more than a 5.3. So 5.3, I think, for beer number 2. Then moving on to beer number 3. This is called Rainbow's End. It's a 4.4% hazy pale ale, and it's done by the brewer called Elusive. And this is priced normally at £5.10 a pint. So initial first thoughts. I prefer the colour of this compared to the Agegate beer. It does look good to me. So I prefer hazy pale ales when I'm looking. When I'm reviewing my favourite beers. Well, yeah, let's have a look. So, sniff test. Doesn't have much of an odour to it. Maybe. Nah, so I'm trying hard to smell it, and I don't get any sort of good floral, fruity sense to it at all. So, but anyway, let's give it a try. Hopefully, it tastes better than it not smelling. Hazel pale. It's flat, but the taste of it is a lot better. So it's a lot lighter on the palate. I actually quite like that. So it's quite nice. So for a flat beer, that's probably one of my favourite flat beers out there. What are my thoughts on that one? It's not as good as the Stoke, but it is better than the Agegate. So therefore, thoughts on that. I'm going to be giving that a yeah, I'll give that exactly a 7 on the nose. So yeah, that is a 7 there. So that is my thoughts on all three of the third pints here at Guide Dog. As we can see in the beer standings, Stoke managed just to sneak into the top 10 of the table rankings. Rainbow Road is around about mid-table, well, say into the top half at least. Unfortunately, looking at high winds, it does go down more into the bottom end of the beer table. Now, I wanted to get a taste of the food, so cut back to me while I try the sausage rolls that they had on offer. So now I've had my first 3 thirds as a taster. I wanted to get a bit of a taste of the food. So food here, they don't do any of their own food in-house as far as I'm aware. They do bar snacks, so you got sausage rolls, samosas, got pork scratchings as well. I've gone for the sausage roll. So it's bought it's bought from a local butcher's here called Upton's. So sausage roll here is £3.50 for a sausage roll, which is a bit on the heftier price and the heftier end. But if you looked at the B-roll footage earlier, you can see there it's got a good meat content. It looks like they've been generous with the pork. It's not just going to be a bit of meat and just some pastry and that's it. So yeah, I've got high expectations for this. Hopefully it's going to be good, but let's find out. Cheers.
All I can say is I know how every best piece of stuff every amazing. That and send how much you want to buy it for.
So don't get it down that choking. That's a really nice sausage roll. That's got to be up there one of my most favourite sausage rolls I've had. That is very lovely. Wow. Plenty of herbs, plenty of seasoning in the pork sausage meat. Yeah, pastry's nice and flaky. That's a really nice sausage roll. What am I going to give that, food-wise? I'll give that a good solid... good solid 8.6 out of 10. So, yeah, sausage roll really nice. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the food here. Hello. Right, so I've decided to get 2 more beers to try on camera for you now. So I'll go for 2 halves rather than 3 thirds this time, just because I felt like I wasn't too sure how much more, like in terms of variety that I wanted. I just wanted to say a good couple more just to get a good sample. So here I've gone for a nice creamy pint. Want to get a good creamy pint on this channel. So when I saw this 4.2% nitro stout brewed in-house by Steamtown, I've got to go for that. It looks really, really nice. Just a first impression. So I was going to try it straight off the bat, and then we'll move on to the next one after that. First impressions. I've left it to settle for quite a while. So it's got a reasonably good head. Do like it. It's got a good looking body to it. So looking at it, it does look good. But yes, good. Let's do a taste test right now. So, cheers. That's a good point. Yeah, I do like that. Yes, obviously when I'm drinking it all the time and comparing it to Guinness. What is the taste like in comparison to Guinness? Do I like it more than Guinness or do I not? What's my thoughts? I think that's a good pint. Do I like it as much as Guinness? Possibly. Possibly not. I don't think I do. Yes, I think yeah, I think comparing it to Guinness and Murphy's, I don't think I do prefer it as much as that. But don't get me wrong, I think it's a good beer. But yeah, what's my thoughts? How am I going to rate that? I'm going to give that a 7.7 out of 10. Yeah, that is my thoughts on the Nitro Stout. Anyway, moving on to the next one. So we have got, it is written it down here on my notes, it is a 5% dark Czech lager, and it's called Czech Signals, also brewed in-house by Steamtown Brewery. And per pint, this works out at £5.80 per pint, but I've just got a half here just to try it. Initial first thoughts. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Dark Czech lager. It's dark, very dark. Could easily get this confused for a porter or a stout, from first glance. But yeah, apparently meant to be a lager. So let's see if it tastes like one. Cheers. Oh, that's interesting. How it tastes and how it looks is completely chalk and cheese. That's quite nice and quite refreshing. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's good. I could drink more of that happily. It's just a lager. It's got a decent amount of flavour for a lager. Also, when you're comparing it to like your hazy IPAs and IPA stuff like that, maybe it hasn't got as much flavour as that. But for a lager, I think it's one of those flavourful lagers I've had for quite a while. What are my thoughts? What am I going to give that? I'm going to go for a good 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Czech lager. And then also my thoughts prior on the Nitro Stout, brewed in-house by Steamtown Brewery. So as you can see, both of these pints were pretty solid, and they fitted into the top 20 of my beer ranking reviews. Now moving on, we're going to be doing one more food review of trying the pork scratchings on offer. So, also for a bit of extra content on the food, we've seen up on the bar there, it does do pork scratchings. So I thought, how often is it that you get proper butcher's pork scratchings nowadays? Unfortunately, it is rare. But yeah, fortunately in this case, they do it. So I thought we've got to get some and try some. So I do love pork scratchings. So yeah, I can't remember the name of the butcher off the top of my head, but I know it's done by a proper butcher, and we'll be displaying that in the video. Initial first thoughts. It looks good, but if I'm thinking value for money, I'm not sure. It's $2.50 a bag, which is on the steep end. It's good quality. It's not a lot there, but yeah, I think it purely depends on the quality. If the quality's good, up there, sky high, then I think I can allow there not being many in the bag. Anyway, let's give it a go. Go for a nice big bit for a good sample. Cheers. Oh. Cool. Yeah. Don't know if the mic picked it up, but that was a lot of crunch, that pork crackling. Might need to go and see the dentist the next day, but don't know if that's going to cause any issues with my teeth. But yeah, that was a lovely bit of pork crackling. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. I think straight after I've recorded this, I'm going to be diving straight back in for it, but I'm getting another bit. Thoughts on it? What I think? That was good pork crackling. Because it's really, really good, I can allow there being not as many in the bag. Yeah, I'll give that 8.5, just due to being not as many. If there was maybe big full bag, I'd give that a lot higher. But yeah, that's my thoughts. 8.5 out of 10 on the pork crackling. So cut back to me, back at base, where I give my final thoughts and opinions on my time at the Guide Dog. So first of all, before I go and do a summary over all of them, I wanted to do a quick quick clarification and quick correction, I think, of the scores that I maybe gave on some of the food. So with the pork scratchings, I originally gave it a high score, but on further reflection and further thought, I do have to lower it to a 5. Pork scratchings, I think the first pork scratching I did when I did the review, I did get quite lucky with it. I think I probably got the best one of the bag, the biggest one. So after you had that, the bag was absolutely tiny for £2.50. So I think for £2.50, I deserve a bigger and better bag than what I got. Yes, it comes from a butcher's, but I do expect for that sort of money, I do expect more in there, to be honest with you. And then I think because there was so much, maybe people aren't buying them, and as a result, maybe I did taste a few at the end. They were a little bit on the stale side, I can't lie to you. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed really with the pork scratching when it comes to it. So I did have good initial first impressions, but yeah, I stand to be corrected on that. Right, anyway, going in and doing an overview of the place. So first of all, I wanted to go into the beer. So beer number 1, I rated that a 7.9. Beer number 2, I rated that a 5.3. Beer 3, I rated that a 7. Beer 4, 7.7. And then finally, beer number 5 at 7.5. All of this, when you average it out, that gets to an average rating of 7.1. But due to the fact that there is good multiple options available over 10, that gets to 0.5 bonus score. Therefore, I've given that a final rating on the beer of 7.6. So food, I had a very good rating of the sausage roll, 8.6, but because of the crackling wasn't that great after all, I've only given that a 5. Then therefore the average for the food gets a 6.8. Cleanliness, I've given that a good average score of 8. So the taps were clean, they were good, well looked after. So was the glass, yeah, well looked after, no complaints about that whatsoever. So the toilets were, when I went in there, were a bit grubby. Stuff on the floor around the urinals. Yeah, I don't know. You can maybe put 2 and 2 together and then guess where that. Yeah, I can guess what that might be. And also when it came by as well, that was just me walking past the urinal. When I came to the actual cubicle, well, not the fault of the pub, but yeah, some grotty so and so's. Yeah. Not been toilet trained, just to say the least. But yeah, not the fault of the pub. That was just the fault of the dirty so-and-so that was in there before me. That was my thoughts on the cleanliness. The vibes. Originally, I was going to be giving this a 3. I can't lie to you. The vibes was really not my cup of tea. I thought it was really, really poor. I'm really disappointed, to be honest with you, with the vibes. So you go in there and it's, for a Friday night, you're expecting it to be absolutely heaving, people, surrounding the bar, expecting it to be absolutely touch tight, going to be very, very busy, but it's the complete opposite. It was absolutely dead in there, so you could hear a pin drop, and obviously people, obviously when I'm doing recording there, people may look to see what I'm doing, and that's okay, but I felt very, very self-conscious because it was so quiet in there. You could hear a pin drop, and just for me, I did feel a bit uncomfortable just how quiet it was. So there was people in there playing board games such as backgammon and stuff like that. Maybe that's your cup of tea. Maybe you like somewhere really nice and quiet. You just want to be in there, whoever you're with, and that's literally it. Just for me, I do prefer a bit more of a bouncier sort of vibe, and in there a bit more lively. But that's just my thought. But yeah, I really didn't enjoy the actual vibes, but I've given it a good boost because I've given it a point boost to be overall at a 4 because the barman there was really, really attentive. he was constantly asking, how am I finding the beers, how am I liking them, telling me which beers are what, and it was helping guide me through to pick the sort of best beers for the night. Whether he could tell I was doing a bit of a beer review, possibly, maybe, but he was really, really good and attentive, and that's what helps boost it up to at least somewhat of a respectable level. So yeah, kudos to the barman there for at least boosting the score there for the guide dog. So when we so I've gone and covered all the bases. So when we look at that, we get an average total, which I'm really disappointed to say that, but it does get an average total of 6.6. Yeah, and the beer's not bad, but I've definitely had better food. I think there is a sausage roll. I think was good, but I think it is a little bit steep, to be honest with you. I think it's a bit of a rip off. But I don't know, say like the sausage roll was say £2 instead of £2. So I think it was I think it was £3.50. I think it was for a sausage roll, which I think's a bit on steep side. So it's maybe £2.50 to £2, and then the pork crackling. There's a tiny bag. I'd struggle to charge anything more than £1.50 for that bag of pork crackling. But if it was on those sort of levels, I'd say that's better value and good value for money. But yeah, so I think that's what's let it down there. So I think, and then also the vibes. I think maybe it's just not the right pub for me, and not the sort of maybe I'm not the sort of clientele that goes there, but I remember it being very, very different to that in the past. And I remember it being a lot more lively in the past. And yeah, maybe that's just the route that the pub's gone down, but it's just not for me, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's just my thoughts and opinions. Yeah, and let me know. Have you been to the Guide Dog before? If you have, do you enjoy it there? Have you had some of the same beers that I've had? If so, do you agree with the ratings? Or do you think a little bit differently? Or have you tried some of the other beers there? And you might say to me in the comments, "Oi, Foreman, taste some of that other beer that you didn't go for. That might be a lot better, and that might give you a better rating and scoring on the beer." I'm just curious to know your thoughts. So I don't know whether you possibly agree with me, or whether you think I'm chatting a load of rubbish. But anyway, it's good to get your thoughts and opinions in the comments. But as well as the comments, please like and subscribe to the channel. It lets me know that you're loving the videos. But until then, on the next video, cheerio.